We're the Lockwoods, and we're traveling the world to experience up close and in person all the natural wonders and distinct cultures that our kids would otherwise be consuming only through textbooks and TV. We're on a whirlwind tour through Europe, and after starting in Florence and making our way to Milan, we've left Italy and landed in Paris, France. This is our family's first trip to the City of Lights, and there's way too much to see and do in just 4 days. So we're pausing our new mission of living like locals and focusing instead on finding as many authentic and kid-friendly sights and bites as we can get our chilly little hands on. Let's start devouring some Parisian culture.
We always say we try to stay away from the touristy stuff, but this is our first family trip to Paris, so there are a lot of things that we cannot miss that are on our list. So we are going to show the kids something that they have been dying to see, and pretty iconic. I'm sure you can guess it. Nothing more iconic than the Eiffel Tower, and Brooklyn especially has been dying to see the Eiffel Tower. Paris was her must-do city on our trip to Europe this time. But we don't want to just look at it. We want to experience it the way that Gustave Eiffel, the man who architected the Eiffel Tower, wanted people to experience it, and that's by climbing it. We purchased our tickets ahead of time, and they told us to arrive a little bit early to go through security. That didn't take too much time. It was maybe 5 minutes.
It took 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days to build the Eiffel Tower. And at this rate, I think it might take us that long to climb it. How's it going, honey? Taking a break? We're almost there.
Well, we made it to the first floor, so this is just one of 2 that you can climb by stairs up to.
The views up here are phenomenal. Phenomenal. My lips are frozen. It's getting hard to talk. Look at that. What all can we see from up here? Notre Dame?
I imagine it's even better than at the very top because you get a little bit better perspective being slightly closer down to the ground. They also have a restaurant, a bar that's up here. And unfortunately, we cannot go to the very, very top. It's closed right now. I wonder if it's because of the weather. It's freezing out.
Okay, after a little break, we're ready to do climb number 2. At least I'm ready to do climb number 2. Are you, honey?
Yeah.
Wait, do you think we're climbing like this?
This is the observation deck, and we can already see that this is the better 360 way to see Paris. From this vantage point, this height, it is gorgeous. You can see the tops of all of the buildings, the apartments down below. God, I wish I had one of those apartments. Really worth the walk up these steps. Definitely worth it.
Well, we made it to the 2nd floor, but I gotta be honest with you. I think I prefer the next floor down. Not the 1st floor, but the observation deck, because it's very crowded up here. I don't think there's as much in terms of views, and I think it's mostly like souvenir shops.
It's really cool to be up here, but we all are getting pretty cold, so we're gonna head down and get a croissant.
Everybody thinks it's called the Eiffel Tower because Gustave Eiffel built it. That's not why. It's because he funded it. He's the one who gave the money for it.
It's also a full TV and radio station with 120 antennas. And when it was originally built, it was for the World's Fair, and it was supposed to only exist for about 20 years. Obviously, still going strong for 130 years now. All right, we're all done. We're gonna go find a croissant now.
Our next stop is something that we thought the kids would be very interested in because Brooklyn really likes watching scary shows and scary movies and culturally into some of the crazier stuff too. So what we have here is something that's about 250 years in the making. In fact, it was right around the time that the United States became an independent country, and they were having a problem, Brooklyn, with the cemeteries of Paris. They were becoming too full, they were overflowing, and they had to do something about it. What do you think they did?
Grave dig!
That's exactly what they did. Did you guys think we were done with stairs for the day?
Well, I mean, no, but yes. As in, I didn't think that.
It's fascinating that we came down so many flights of stairs and we're walking through so many tunnels. Like, this is miles and miles down here. I'm getting a little claustrophobic because the ceilings are getting lower and lower also. But we have not seen a single catacomb yet. a single tomb or
Skull.
We haven't seen a single skull yet, so we've still got more walking to do. The tunnels down here went for miles and miles under the city, and I wonder where we are. What's above us right now? It could be the Louvre. It could be Eiffel Tower.
Hey kids, see this? It says stop. This is the Empire of Death.
This is a burial site. Do not touch the bones.
Wow, and they're just piled on top of each other. And I mean, from the outside, it looks like they're organized in a specific way, but on top, it looks like they're just thrown. It's quite sad, actually, to think about how many lives these were.
So over the course of years, there were 6 million bodies moved from the cemeteries to the catacombs here by covered wagon under the dark of night. And the catacombs are built in part of the old mines or quarries that they used hundreds of years ago. It's not the entire mine or quarry system, it's just one chunk of it that makes up the catacombs. But because they're so old and there are so many of these right below city streets and buildings, over the years a lot of buildings have collapsed. And because of that, you don't find any tall buildings in this area of town.
That one is scary.
Whew, that was fascinating. Now we're back up in the fresh but very cold air, and I'm glad that we did that as well. I know that these are stops that a lot of people do when they come to Paris. It's not terribly local, but in a way that it is. It's part of Paris's identity, and these are the things that if we haven't been here yet, we have to do. So 2 things checked off the list so far.
And that was a very unusual experience. You're not exactly sure how you want to act down there because it's fascinating on the one hand. It has kind of a Halloween spooky kind of component to it, but at the same time you realize that there are 6 million souls that's their final resting place. So it's really a very interesting experience for us, and I'm glad that we did it.
While we're in Paris, we're staying at Hotel Regina, which is a gorgeous hotel, and it's also in the Inspirato portfolio. So we're not paying any nightly rates. And if you want to learn more about that, go to followabc.com/pass. And we have this really great, spacious, really high ceilings hotel room. It's 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and the best part, we are right across the street from our next activity.
Okay, we have everything?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a boutique hotel, so the service is fantastic, and the lobby is really beautiful. It has this historical elegance, and it gives you this like old Parisian feel, like maybe what it was like in the 20s, around there. Maybe Hemingway came here. Who knows? Very short walk. We are going across the street to the Louvre, the most famous art museum in the world. They also have a lot of famous sculptures.
Time tickets, because something like the Mona Lisa, you can't just show up or you're gonna really have a problem. From what we've seen everywhere, even having time tickets like this, it's gonna be very crowded. I'm curious if we're even gonna be able to get to the front of the line so that we can see it as close up as you can possibly see it. My expectations are very low, so we'll see what happens.
This courtyard looks like a palace itself. And the Louvre Museum is the iconic pyramid shape. It's one of Paris's other historical landmarks, and it was established in 1793. The museum is quite old itself.
The Mona Lisa is one of my favorite paintings, and what makes it so famous is its expression. Did you know that the Mona Lisa holds the record for the most expensive insurance for a painting?
Well, almost actually. The insurance, they purchased $100 million in like the late 60s, early 70s. So right now, the Mona Lisa is valuated at $870 million, and that's what the equivalent of the insurance is. I'm not surprised that it's so crowded because it's the most visited museum in the world. I'm really, really excited to see the kids' reactions to the Mona Lisa. A lot of people are underwhelmed and some people are overwhelmed, so Who knows how they're gonna react?
This place is massive, and there are all these different areas that you can go into, and it looks like they've got pictures of the artwork above each one of the corridors so that you can use that as a guide to where to go through. We've got Venus de Milo over here, Denon over here, and I see the Mona Lisa right above here, so I think that's where we go.
I guess Cole is so inspired that he's drawing now. Maybe we'll leave it behind and it'll be a new piece of art here. Wow, I love this room.
Oh, that's a great angle.
Don't forget to look up when you're here. There's art on the ceiling as well. I can't believe if we didn't look up, we would have missed it. That is extraordinary.
The kids are so excited to see the Mona Lisa, they have zero patience to look at any paintings before we get there. And here it is. I'm actually glad they have this turnstile thing because I was worried this was just going to be a crowded room full of people all battling to get a view. So obviously they kind of push people through so that everybody gets a bit of a view. That's good. Do you see it, buddy?
Yes, I do. It's beautiful.
Ready?
Yes. Oh, wow.
I'm gonna be honest, that had a lot more detail to it than I realized. And it was still a little bit of a hectic experience because there's so many people and a lot of pushing and shoving, but we got the job done. We saw the Mona Lisa, and honestly, I was more impressed than I thought I would be because I was actually anticipating us being a little underwhelmed. That is a massive check off of our bucket list, and for the kids. And the museum is humongous. It wouldn't be possible for us to show you everything in this episode, so we're just gonna walk around a bit and then we're gonna head to our next activity. This is probably the cutest street we've seen in Paris, and we're going to the oldest chocolatier in Paris. Also, this is their flagship store, the first one that they had, and it was established in 1761. It's à la mère de Famille, and the kids are dying to go inside.
Hey, buddy.
Since it's that time of year, can we get this?
If that's what you want to choose.
I found out what I want.
Our part is picking something.
Really cool.
Phil is so sweet, he's gonna share with me a little assortment.
What is it?
It is a marshmallow-covered snowman. Christmas.
Merci. Merci beaucoup.
What does that
I mean, thank you very much. It's funny, as we're walking out, I'm looking at all these other candies and chocolates I didn't see before, and I want them all.
Mmm.
Oh, is that marshmallow inside?
Is it what you expected?
More. Caramel. Vanilla.
And Phil and I got this mystery box, and I'm gonna try, I like the bumpy ones because I like dark chocolate with nuts in them. No, you keep your paws out of there. Crunchy. It was a good pick. Very good pick.
As a graphic designer, I think I have to go with one that has this cool printing on it. Something very crunchy inside, like at the top. Oh, it's just at the top of the chocolate that's that crunchy.
What do you guys think of the chocolate? Good?
It's good.
As a walk here.
As a professional artist, I get this one.
Only if you bite into it.
All right,
if I
take it
like
out.
the middle, then I get the other half.
It's just chocolate.
I thought you might want this one because it looks like pistachio dust.
I'll leave that one for Mother then. This is like a Three Musketeers. One thing to know about me, I always eat the outside first, especially on croissants.
Definitely some fantastic chocolate, but we're gonna hit it. It's a brand new morning here in Paris, and we have a little bit of a mission today, and that is to get Brooklyn a croissant for breakfast. There's a McDonald's right across the street. There's a Starbucks right here. We're looking for something a little more authentic, so we're heading up here.
We're going to Eric Kayser. It's an artisan pastry shop. And look, there's a line. You know it's good when there's a line outside the door. Can we get one plain croissant?
This is the authentic Parisian way to eat a croissant.
It is very crispy and flaky.
I got myself a little white chocolate chip cookie This is my breakfast. I skipped the hotel breakfast this morning with everybody else. It doesn't taste like an American cookie. Surprisingly, it's a little less sweet. It almost tastes a little banana bready. And yes, walnuts in there. That's what that is. It's a very good cookie.
The croissant actually originated in Austria in the 13th century. And it didn't become popular in Paris until a baker, an Austrian-born baker, opened up a shop in 1839. And then it really took off. The croissant thing really got catchy. I would say that the Parisians have maybe perfected the croissant. And croissants are different when you go to Italy and Paris and I imagine Austria. In Paris, they're known for being very buttery and soft. And in Italy, they're known for being really crispy on the outside and then just soft on the inside. All right, breakfast done, on to the next. Although this is the first family trip we've taken to Paris, it's not my first time in Paris. I spent about 2 weeks here with my best friend when I was 20, and this was my absolute favorite part of Paris. We're at the Basilica of Sacred Heart of Paris, and it's in the Montmontre neighborhood, and it's something really special about this place. First of all, it's a great view of the city from up here. It's way up a hill. It takes a bit to kind of go up these like narrow, windy streets. But the Basilica is up on this summit, so it's perched up really high.
This is one of many lock walls around the world. You can see that people buy these locks, they write a name on there, put a date on there sometimes, and then they attach them. There must be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of these locks all along the railing all around here. And the locks that you can buy right here are shaped like, I think it's supposed to be two hearts overlapping. It looks more like butts to me. What do you think, Cole?
An apple.
You think they look like apples?
I like that better. This is where I feel the real treasure is in Montmartre area. It is the artist circle, and it's where hundreds of artists will come to get inspiration, sit together and paint in a big artist community here. And a lot of shops around that you can just sit and enjoy the atmosphere. But I don't remember it being this crowded when I was here 20 years ago. Yikes.
One of the most popular things to do up here is caricature art or portrait art. They do silhouettes, and we're gonna have both Brooklyn and Colt do it. They're getting two different styles though.
I'm glad that the kids like their portraits. It's something that we're probably gonna frame and take home and keep for a very long time. And we have far from seen all there is to do in Paris, but at least we got a little taste. We've done some of the big item check the box lists. We're gonna have to come back to do a lot more in Paris. We're gonna have to come back to see a lot more of the local, really, truly authentic things, but I'm glad we saw some of the touristy things here. They are a must-do. So we are gonna see you in the next European city. We're off to Germany now.
We are the Lockwoods. Aaron, Phil, Reagan, Brooklyn, and Cole. We're traveling the world to experience, up close and in person, all the natural wonders and distinct cultures that our kids would otherwise be consuming only through textbooks and TV. We think it's a better way to learn, and we're working hard to fund this little experiment in the hope that our kids will grow up wiser, kinder, and more grateful for the beauty of our diverse planet and its people. Her first croissant in Paris. How is it? Yeah.
That's not true.
It's not? Oh, because of the hotel?
I also have.
Oh, and the other ones.
Yeah.
We'll just cut that one.